of the truth of philosophical theology. Philosophical theology, only the religions that are theological, not cosmological, and monotheistic, not polytheistic, can be true.
Palm Desert, California, you're next.
Good morning, Brian.
Morning.
Hi. Dr. Adler, as a former school teacher, I couldn't agree more with your definition of literacy as you related it to graduating students from our high schools and our universities, and I would probably also agree with your estimate of the numbers involved. However, relating to your great book series, of which I'm quite ignorant, I wanted to ask you whether I was ignorant of the series until today. I was interested to know whether you had found room to acknowledge James Baldwin.
Baldwin yes, a book by James Baldwin is recommended in the additional readings, not in the set. I repeat, because a book by Baldwin's book is relevant to only one or two ideas. There are 102 great ideas, and the books in the set are relevant to many of them. The books in the additional readings at the end of each chapter are relevant to only a few. Baldwin's book is like that.
When you sat around and made your decision on what you were going to include in all this, were you sensitive to the race situation in the United States, and you felt that you had to pull books into this?
No.
Never discussed it?
We never considered, we never thought in terms of quotas.
On one of the photographs here, I don't know where I put it, I showed earlier with the young man at, I think it was at Georgetown. On the bottom of it, I noticed that you wrote the author's more than 37,000 pages dealing with 3,020 topics, and for the first time includes 20th century authors, including four women writers.
The four women writers in the 19th century, George Eliot and Jane Austen. In this century, Virginia Woolf and Willa Cather.
Have the great books effort been criticized in the past by different groups because they did not include the...
No. The criticism of the great books started in 1988 at Stanford, and that is totally irrelevant. What the students at Stanford were in a required course, history course, in the history of Western civilization, a survey course, lecture course. Attached to the lecture course were some books to be read in small groups with college assistants. They had the books required in Stanford were 15. There were no books by women, no books by blacks. It was all by white European males. So they cut that list down to 4. Only 4 books were required. But a great books program, as at St. John's College in Annapolis, is 4 years of reading the great books, 125 of them, not 15 or 10 or 5. At Chicago, we read 56 of them in 2 years. Notre Dame, they read 56 or 60 in 2 years. At Thomas Aquinas College in California, they read 100 of them. That's a great books program. All this stuff in the college is totally irrelevant to what we're doing. Totally irrelevant.
Were you happy that the controversy arose at Stanford, which gave more attention to great books?
No, that was stupid. Total misunderstanding.
You were in a lot more demand after that controversy.
I know that, but I'm not that.
Palm Beach, Florida, you're next. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, and thank you for C-SPAN.
Thank you.
I have Encyclopaedia Britannica, of course, and I admire Dr. Adler. I was wondering, well, I didn't come into the room immediately upon his introduction, so I missed, it was said that there were 8 great religions, or...
10.
All right. My question is, if there are 10 great religions and we were to study them all, and that then we would find the truth. Is that correct?
No, I don't think that's the... You have to do more than study them. There are courses in our universities by sociologists and anthropologists called comparative religion, and that kind of sociological, anthropological approach is not my approach. The philosophical approach is to know the difference between poetical and logical truth, understand the demands of logical truth, and apply those demands to the 10 religions of the world. You see, this is a very special book. The subtitle of that book is An Essay in the Philosophy of Religion. There are very few books, if any at all, like it. Really, the philosophical approach to religion from the point of view of no religion. See, there are lots of books which are called apologetical. There are Christians who defend Christianity.